All right, this Thursday morning, excuse me, we have a tornado warning just outside of St. Louis. Let me share my screen so that you can see what I'm looking at here. Here we go. We have that tornado warning. They're circled in red. There's your tornado warning. There's your severe thunderstorm warning crossing the state line from Missouri into Illinois. There's St. Louis. So this tornado warning is just outside of St. Louis to the north and west. So put your weather comments or questions in the comments section, and we will go ahead and just go through what we're seeing here. But I do want you to know that this tornado warning goes until 11. So we've got another 8 minutes on this warning here. And while we're waiting for a few more people to jump in, I'm going to check my mic, my audio. I'm producing by myself today, so I'm going to make sure that you guys can hear me before we proceed. Okay, looks like you guys can hear me, so that's good right there. Okay, so as you can see at the bottom of your screen, at 10:26, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Troy, Missouri. The National Weather Service goes on to say that it was moving to the east at 35 miles an hour. They also say that flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter, mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed, and damage to roofs, windows, vehicles will occur, tree damage is likely. So that's coming from the National Weather Service. That's what they're putting in their warning here. And that's about standard messaging. Again, this is moving to the east right now through Batchtown, Hardin, just about to enter. I think we have officially, this line of storms has officially entered into the southern portion of Illinois, not as much in Missouri anymore. So that white line right there, that's the state line that goes from Winfield, and then you go to the east, you're in Illinois. Again, this tornado warning goes until 11 o'clock this morning, and it's warned for central Calhoun and northeastern Lincoln counties. Missouri almost out of that tornado warning. Give it a few more minutes, though. Keep sheltering. Stay in place if you are in this area highlighted here in red. You can see if we zoom out a little bit, this is coming from a line of storms just to the west of Chicago, stretching from a line of storms, very, very skinny line of storms, down to west of Peoria, just west of Springfield. You guys will get these storms here pretty soon. All the way down into northern or central Missouri and southern Illinois, just outside of St. Louis. So St. Louis, you also will get these storms here pretty soon. We've got rain that extends all the way down into the northern portion of Arkansas. Now, what we're watching for here is every now and then you can get these little notches in this long line of storms, and that could produce a spin-up tornado. Oftentimes, these tornadoes are very fast-moving. They'll drop down and drop back up very, very quickly. So that's what we're watching for right here. And it does look like the National Weather Service has updated their warning. So we have a brand new warning here. Now they're saying the storm has moved out of the area, so the tornado warning is canceled for northeastern Lincoln County. However, I do think it's still in effect for counties in Illinois. So it's a very small area right here. They're saying 12 miles. What were they saying here? 7 miles northwest of Troy, moving to the east at 35 miles an hour. Again, that's coming from the National Weather Service. And again, what we're watching for here is every now and then with this long line of storms, you could get these little notches, and that could produce a spin-up tornado. I see we have a few people in the chat right now. Emmanuel says squall line tornado. So we're watching for just these little spin-ups inside of this long line of tornadoes, long line of storms. And I'm actually working right now to pull up our GR analyst. So let's go ahead and switch over to a better radar here. Much better here. Okay, so you can see the line of storms right here. You can see that this does look a lot more impressive. There is absolutely some rotation here. However, I'm not terribly impressed with this gate to gate. It's not very tight rotation, but this is what we're talking about, where we have this long line of storms, and then every now and then you'll get a notch like what we're seeing right here, and that could produce a spin-up tornado. So we're watching for just these little notches. This is your storm relative velocity on the upper right-hand side of your screen. I can make this a little bit bigger for you. And this is what we're watching for right here. So again, we still have a tornado warning in effect right now, but it was canceled for Lincoln County. It was canceled for Lincoln County. So that tornado warning did originally extend all the way back into Missouri. Now it's just in southern Illinois. That white line that you see right there, that's the state line going from Missouri to Illinois. So this tornado warning and severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Illinois right now, however, not in effect for Missouri. Here pretty soon, St. Louis is going to get some storms. You can see some storms moving into the city. On the outskirts right now, however, moving into the city itself, it looks like we could absolutely see some strong wind, lightning, thunder, maybe some brief pockets of heavy rain. For the most part, you should stay. It's a very low chance for severe weather. And we'll see if the National Weather Service extends this severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning again. From what I can tell, it looks like it's picked up a little bit of speed. So yeah, there was the original warning. This is the current warning. So they've definitely narrowed down areas that they're expecting a potential spin-up tornado to form. I think it's a very low chance, but they are warning for it, especially because they're seeing little notches like this. I think that absolutely warrants the potential for a spin-up tornado. Now, as we talked about earlier, this comes from a long line of storms that are moving pretty quickly across Illinois right now. You can see here's Illinois. We'll go all the way down to this severe thunderstorm warning. This is warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds. Not expecting any hail out of this. I know we're not expecting any hail out of this. However, strong winds are absolutely possible. It's moving to the east at 40 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. Pretty fast-moving system here. So again, if you're in this area that's highlighted in red, in this red polygon, make sure that you are sheltering in a sturdy building right now. I do think that they're going to go ahead and cancel this warning here pretty soon. I'd give it another minute or two, and then they'll most likely cancel this warning. We'll stay on here for another minute, so put your weather questions in the chat. I see that Emmanuel is in here today. Thanks for joining us today. We'll go ahead and clear this off the bottom of the screen since we have a new warning, and that is old information. As always, we do a live weather forecast at noon. So I was actually preparing the forecast just a few minutes ago before this warning was issued. And what we're watching for today in terms of, well, it's really all types of weather. We've got winter weather up to the north with blizzard conditions. We've got strong winds, which most of you are probably feeling outside right now, right? Whenever I woke up this morning, I could hear that blustery wind just outside of my window. That will be the case for a lot of people today. Actually, here, let me pull up. There you go. You can see from this screen right here, all of the different watches and warnings that are in place across the U.S. So we have some of those fire weather advisories highlighted here in pink. Red flag warnings is what this is warning people of, highlighted there in pink for Topeka all the way down to Wichita, El Dorado included in that as well. Highlighted there in gold is your high wind warning, which is something that we saw yesterday and we're seeing once again today. I do have to note that your tornado warning has officially expired. I told you guys that would most likely expire at 11 o'clock, and that is exactly what happened. So here you go. There's your tornado warning that no longer exists. We do still have this long line of storms that goes from Carrollton down just to the west of Jerseyville. Fielden included in this here. This is warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds. Not expecting any hail from this. Just got a wind advisory in central Indiana. Can go back to our watches and warnings. I've got another 2 or 3 minutes that I can stay on, and then I'm going to hop off and get ready for our forecast today. We do a live forecast every day at noon, but it does look like we've got a wind advisory highlighted there in brown for central Indiana. The National Weather Service here is saying that south winds will be sustained around 20 to 30 miles an hour, so we'll call that pretty breezy to windy, with gusts up to 45 miles an hour. Pretty impressive, but not as impressive as what we saw yesterday across places like Wyoming and Minnesota and Montana, or Wyoming and Montana and Idaho, excuse me. Got my M states mixed up there. What we saw yesterday was strong winds over 100 miles, gusting over 100 miles an hour. That is absolutely insane. Let's see, 35 to 45 mile per hour wind speeds sustained with up to 65 mile per hour wind gusts. Now that's in South Dakota. Switch over my map here. And we can talk about some of those wind reports in Kansas today. Mainly 50 and 60 mile per hour wind reports, but we've got one 75 mile per hour wind report here. Now you have to watch right along I-70, that red line right there, that's I-70. You always have to watch for semi trucks that will blow over with these strong winds. If we go farther up to the north and go back a few hours, we had scattered 70 to 80 mile per hour wind speeds. These are gusts anywhere from Rapid City to Platte. Again, this is in South Dakota. Strong winds up here. What this can do is, you see those strong winds. They're not related to a severe thunderstorm. They're straight line winds. They're very, very strong winds that's going to blow debris around in South Dakota. And it's also going to take up all of that dust, or maybe any of that snow out there right now, even snow that may not be falling right now, but it's already on the ground, and it's going to blow it around, and it's going to create near whiteout conditions, if not whiteout conditions. So it makes for travel very, very difficult in here. And talk about blowed over semis. The semis have a really, really difficult time with these strong winds as well. So that's what's going on right now. It looks like what's with our severe thunderstorm warning? Yeah, our severe thunderstorm warning still in effect in southern Illinois. I'm going to hop off of here right now, get ready for the noon forecast. You guys make sure to join us at noon. We go live every single weekday at noon for a full nationwide forecast. So we'll see you here in about 55 minutes.